We got the killers over here.
Yeah! We got the killers over here. Yeah!
Living legend. Living legend. Living legend. Living legend.
What's up? This your boy, Coach DOC, iLLSports247 here presenting Living Legends podcast. Today we got two local legends. We have the great legendary Phillip Gilbert from East St. Louis Senior High School, and we also have Kevin Brown from East St. Louis Senior High School with Granny Boys Barbecue. We're going to start this off today, man. I know both of you guys tied in with sports at the high school level, whether you got a child or you coaching. How do you guys feel about the state of Illinois high school sports right now? I want to start off with you, Phil. How do you feel about it?
Me personally, I think it's a mess. I mean, you look at the whole, type of thing where it's the health concerns, but this is really hurting these kids. And, if you look at it like that, you just look at football. Football moves to the spring. Some kids leave early, to go to their universities or whatever. But, who is it really benefiting? You try to look at it that way. But, I mean, every kid and every family, they want their child to prosper and go on to their next level. But you got some coaches that's like, hey, wins and losses is important to me. This is how I pay my family. So it's like, they catch-22. So it's all bad to me, in my opinion.
That's not even a true statement if a coach say this how I pay my bills or whatever, because everybody know high school coaches don't get paid no money, and maybe in Texas somewhere, but not in the Midwest. I mean, Texas, that's a subject for them. They teaching football and things like that, or sports in general. Here in the Midwest, they can care less half the time. Kevin, man, you have a sophomore that's in high school. As a parent, how do you feel about the state of high school sports?
Well, in my opinion, to me, I'm not big on. I'm more of a behind the scene kind of guy, man. I'm just willing, whatever's good, working right for the kid, man. That's what I'm all for, man. If whatever program they in, if it's benefiting the kid and the kid doing what he got to do to get out of here, that's all I'm for, man. Yeah.
So what I'm talking about though is as far as the governor moving, say basketball for instance, Phil a basketball coach and your son plays basketball. They're talking about moving basketball to the spring, football to the spring, baseball to the spring, like volleyball, like all the sports are supposed to be moved to the spring. How does it affect your son, and do you think that's something that's even possible?
Well, it's all bad for the kids, especially the ones that's coming out and like Phil said, this leaving early, going off to other programs. That's very unfortunate for the kids, but I mean that's the way the state of the world is right now, man. And unfortunately, we just gotta roll with the punches, Yeah. Hopefully, when it all blow over, everything get on track. We get the kids back in order, and we can just move on from there.
I know my boy, my co-host here, KT. He normally has some great insight, and I want to kind of see where he thinks the state of Illinois is compared to the other states. Cause
with the governor, man, it's like he pick and choose what's okay to do. You want to get all kids back in school, but you want to shut the state down. So it's like it's cool to do this, but we want our money. There's money in these kids going to school. So he want to keep them in school, but he want to shut everybody's restaurant down, shut all the business down. Then you want to push these kids to play in the spring. Now what if you're a multi-sport athlete? Yep. Now you got coaches politicking on what sport's best for you to play. You should play basketball. I got more scholarships here, but the football team wants you over there, or baseball, volleyball, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like you picking and choosing what's best for the politicians rather than what's best for the kids. And that's why one thing I noticed was he shut the state down, but over there in Ofallon, them restaurants still see people inside. So it's like, first off, never mind all that. People need to vote. By the time this voting, the election gonna be done. Me personally, I don't get big in politics, but Pritzker, he gotta go, man. I'm just gonna say that. We had a conversation about Illinois sports and all that. The schools, I understand Corona's something new, trying to figure it out. But at this point, we kind of, you see where it's going. Like, I understand locking the fans out, let the kids play. And that's my opinion on it.
Man, I heard you say Corona new, man. I kind of look at Corona like a pair of Jordans.
Well, to listen, this is what I'm saying when it hit. Originally, it's like, yeah, shut it down. We don't know what we're dealing with. But you go to work every day, right?
Every day.
I go to work every day. I'm sure you go to work. Because our bills ain't stopping. See, they want to shut shit down. We don't shut this down and make it, we politic, we make y'all feel like it's safe. But you ain't said I ain't got to pay my mortgage. You ain't saying I ain't got to pay my rent. You ain't said that you going to give me some extra food. Nothing. I still got to eat. My kids still got to eat. Everybody's life go on, regardless. Like, you shutting shit down because you want to control them Corona numbers so you can get more votes on the next election. But life goes on, man. It's like this ain't nothing new. Control it as best you can and let the kids play. Because everybody going to Missouri anyway. They playing over there. Or they going to other states. They sending their kids to prep schools. They playing sports in every other state and AAU programs. But they come back to Illinois and they behind in all their sports.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree, man. As a coach, are you guys, how do you guys managing y'all time and getting some shots up and practicing and things like that during this Corona or the pandemic, whatever you want to call it?
It's so many stipulations they try to put out there. You know, if you're on the sideline not doing anything, you're supposed to wear a mask. If the kids on the side, you're supposed to wear a mask. From a coach's standpoint, it's like you want to adhere to the rules, but then it's like, when does it stop? You know what I mean? And you know, I look at my perspective as, you know, in my job, stuff changes day to day. And, you know, at first they were saying that it wouldn't be fans in the stands. Now they're saying we limited it to two fans per kid and per coach and per official. And it's like, okay, but then, you know, they come back and say only 50 people could come into a gym, including the team, both teams, the officials, the coaches. It's like, man, that's 45 people right there already. So who's really going to watch these kids? It's just, it's so up in the air. And then as far as, you know, playing and getting these kids better, you know, where, like I said before, when does it end? You know, you want these kids to get better and come to work out every day, but, you know, you want them to be safe, but it's like, dang, you know what I mean? But hopefully, you know, it stops, you know, soon rather than later. But
now, another thing I want to address dealing with this pandemic, man, some of you teachers is bogus. The kids doing more work than they do when they sit in the classroom with you.
I ain't never seen as many F's before in my life.
Man, I mean, some of the F's got to do with the discipline of the students for sure. But, man, when I say, man, my son, he up to midnight doing homework versus when he in class, he done a whole lot sooner, you know what I mean? And like, that's kind of unfair to the kids because some of these teachers, they got straight attitudes and everything. Like, they really going to work, like,
so
come on,
man. Maybe they feeling they time with work so they don't have to do much. Attendance on like.
I mean, that's all they doing. Some of them.
So they plug they stuff in and then let the kids do their thing. They kind of hang out.
Man, these teachers
congregate in the office.
So some of these teachers not even at the school at all.
It's busy work.
You know what I'm saying? They have, a lot of them at home. It's few of them at the school, but a lot of them at home, man. They do their attendance, get their assignment. And the kids work all day, man.
So if I can just intervene with y'all a second, let me say this for the record. All teachers not bad. All teachers, you know, you can only do what the parents are allowing them to do, you know, dealing with.
Oh, yeah.
You
But I
know,
don't think we trying to pinpoint teachers being bad.
No, not
not
saying exactly with the online teaching as far as because speaking from experience, my sister is a teacher. You know, shout out to Ariel.
Shout out.
You know,
Antoinette.
yeah, but you know, and from personal experience, I see her, you know, on the day-to-day still trying to get her agenda going with the kids. You know, I mean, all of them not bad is what I can say about that.
See, but Ariel, man, she coming from a place where she had good teachers, man. She went to Kennedy, man. You know what I'm saying? John F. Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you know about Kennedy, you know about us. Man, this guy played softball at Kennedy. We played basketball at Kennedy. And we hand out a lot of L's to people, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Our teachers, they prepped us for a lot of good things.
Miss Wren.
Miss Wren, she the GOAT. She the GOAT. I tell people to this day, my early years, you know what I mean, elementary education is where I learned the most in my life, I believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people could compare to that or contest to that.
It laid that foundation, man.
It did. It definitely instilled a lot of wisdom in us, you know. And right now to this day, you know, I'm still living off some of the words that I was encouraged by those teachers, even to this day, you know. So, yeah, we definitely come from a background of true educators.
Yeah.
You know?
To say the less. All right, so we got Kevin in here, man. This Kevin Brown. He with Granny Boys Barbecue. Tell us a little bit about your barbecue business, man.
Well, the barbecue business, it all started off on a dream that my grandma had for me, first of all. You know, she was always instilling that in me. You know, she always wanted me to do something. To me, it's like she saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself.
Yeah.
You know, and all she wanted me to do was put forth an effort into doing something. You know, and she was going to back me 100%. Make a long story short, you know, we lost my grandmother earlier this year. And, you know, yeah, thanks. Yeah, you know, a great woman, you know, she never met a stranger, you know. And I'm pretty sure from you guys growing up in the same neighborhood, y'all can contest to that, you know. My grandma, you know, she was a sweet lady. Anyway, you know, after she passed, you know, and the pandemic thing going, I just decided me, my cousin and my uncle, you know, we sat down and we talked about starting something or doing something, you know, just to keep her name alive. And barbecue popped up, you know, and she taught me a lot of things, you know, a lot of secret ingredients that I was fortunate enough to learn that most of the grandkids didn't do.
Yeah.
You know,
you the oldest grandkid?
I'm the oldest.
Yeah. All right.
The favorite. You know, yeah, no, I'm just playing. She loved all of us equally, you know. She loved us all equally.
Man, if you the favorite, you the favorite, man. Forget that.
I just like to say
all the
that.
secrets.
Right. Nah. You know, I was just the one. I was the more sneakier one. I knew how to get over on Granny. You know, me and Granny had a special relationship.
Man, you couldn't get over on Granny.
I mean, she knew, but it was just, I guess, something about me. I don't know. I don't want to get all technical about that, but. Anyway, yeah, we decided, you know, to start a business up, and one day what really got the fire rolling for us, me and my cousin, you know, we deacons at our church, you know, strong believers in God, man, and we was at church one day doing something, and our pastor approached us. He told us, you know, give him a few minutes. He wanted to just walk around the sanctuary. I guess it was something in him. And he pulled both of us, after he did what he was doing on the inside, he pulled both of us to the side, and it was like, you know, I'm getting these vibes from like y'all, like, you know, you trying to step out on faith and start a business or something. Like, we didn't talk to him about this. This is just something that we talked about with each other. And yeah, like he was like, look, go for it, man. Step out on faith, man, and just, you know, see what happened. And right there, that was confirmation for us. And man, we got the ball rolling, you know, purchased us a custom made grill and put a couple of things together with my grandma's secret recipe barbecue sauce, and there you got Granny Boys Barbecue.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So how long have you been doing it again?
Well, we just started barbecuing professionally, as you know, trying to make a little money about 3 months ago, actually, at the end of July, really. But so I've been cooking, man, for over 20 years, man. That's all I ever done, you know. That's all I ever knew. You know, my first job, you know, I started out cooking, and that's all I done, you know. I was 16, I'm 40 now, so, you know, that's in me.
That's what's
Plus,
up,
you know,
man.
I come from a long line of cooks, too, so.
Yeah. So what's the hours down there? Like, what can someone find some barbecue?
Well, right now, you know, our hours, we only working Fridays and Saturdays. You catch us opening up at 11 and we out there, man, until we run out.
So we can't get no barbecue on the show, is what you're saying.
Well, you know, we can make that happen, you know, make a phone call, we do cater, you know.
What's the size like? I know Granny got some secret recipes.
Well, you know, right now, man, we got a plethora of sides, you know, but right now we only
child, man.
we only limited to 3 right now. Right now, man, we do a good baked bean, potato salad and spaghetti, man. Trust me. I mean, I'm not bragging, man, but it's some of the best food.
I know Doc like to mess with the local clothing brands on getting them a shirt and stuff. I'm just trying to see how we get a plate or something on the show.
Okay, man, that could be alright.
I ain't gonna even lie, man. I tried to hit him up for y'all.
He did.
Try to get some of them rip
If
tips.
you would have called me a little bit earlier, I could have made that happen for you.
I know my boy Drew like them rib tips too, man.
yeah.
I try to get them ribs in here. You know what I mean? Shout out to my sponsor and one of my brothers on Beatboxer Production, Young Drizzy, Young Drew. You know what I mean? He kind of make these things happen for us behind the scenes. Appreciate that. Like I said, like, subscribe, and share iLLSports247 on YouTube. That's the page, man. Check us out. Give us some feedback. All right, and we're talking Kevin Barbecue. He doing his thing. Got side items. They do cater. Y'all heard them. Give us some information. How can they reach you? Where you cooking at? Where can they find you?
Well, right now the location is 16 Range Lane on the old Power Change parking lot. Every Friday and Saturday, we out there from 11 till we run out. And trust me, we do run out. So, I mean, if you want to get you some good food, man, stop by early, man. I got this little thing I do, you know, out there. If you like it, you ride by, honk the horn, let me know. You know what I'm saying? And that's been working pretty good so far, you know. I get a lot of blows and waves when people drive through the neighborhood, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the love and support y'all been showing too out there.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Take yourself down to Granny Boy's Barbecue, where they give you more meat than they give you sauce, man.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but so he told you where you can find him, man. I met this guy years ago. All 3 of us stayed in Parkside, USA. Y'all know where we at. And like I said, we won championship softball at John F. Kennedy Elementary School, which was the greatest elementary school in District 189.
I know when you're talking food, your stomach get to rumble.
Tell
me about this legend we got on the couch, man.
I've been
hearing all week. We got Phillip Gilbert on the show.
This
big things.
This my brother right here, Phillip Gilbert. We call him Phil Gil. He East St. Louis graduate. 2000, played with the great Darius Miles. They was the 1-2 punch that everybody came to see, man. They sold out gyms everywhere they played at. Phil, tell us what you doing nowadays, man.
Oh man, this is my 4th year at Madison Senior High School. I teach, and then I'm also the district athletic director, going on for 4 years. Basketball coach as well. With another legend, Maurice Baker.
Mo Bate was the first D-Wade, man. Mo Bate, you got to get on the couch, man. Come to the basement. Killer Studios. We down here. Hey, Phil, I've been knowing you a long time, man. When was the first time you picked up a basketball?
Oh, man. I would say...
And played for a team, I want to add.
5th grade. East St. Louis League for the legend. People don't understand. Teresa Put Cole. She put that ball in my hand and his hand as well. And I mean, we took it and ran with it. A lot of people, you know, I bring her name up and, you know, they look at me as playing Division I basketball and playing professional, you know, overseas and all of that. And they say, you know, who instilled everything in you? And I can honestly and you know, full-heartedly say that she did. I mean, Doc can contest to that. I mean, we was running a suicide. We was shooting the 20 free throws between drills to instill in us the realness of the game. And she instilled everything that, you know, I took it and ran with it with.
And y'all hearing it right. She. Not he. She. She the GOAT. She the GOAT, man. So 5th grade for you is 4th grade for myself. You kind of introduced me to Teresa, Put Cole. I got on that team after playing some of the guys in school ball. I actually played in the 4th grade. So we started playing at the same time, but I think that's what helped catapult me to, you know what I'm saying, top of the line in some of the things that I do. I actually steal a lot of my coaching methods from her. I will punish my team at halftime. I will punish them after the game. You know what I mean? A little negative reinforcement. It didn't hurt nobody.
I'm guilty of doing that right now. I just remember a game stood out last year. We played 2 topless. And the kids was not performing how I wanted to perform at halftime. They had to do 2 suicides in front of mom, dad, sister, brother at halftime. And everybody looking at me like, what is this method? And it's like, hey, that's how I was raised.
It's a character building.
Right, and then we came back and beat them by 40. You know, it was like, you know what I mean?
Hey, it's all right to get them a slice of that humble pie, man. Kids, a lot of us, we need a slice from her and that time to time. All right, so you picked up the ball 5th grade. How did that season go for you?
Oh man, you attest to this. We used to beat people 102-4, 88-0. It was bad. At the old Morrison High School, I know.
Morrison Elementary School.
Elementary school, my bad. And I know it's a Sunshine building now, but you know, I sit back and I think about those times where, you know, if they saw our name on the schedule, it was like, man, we don't even want to play against y'all. You know, we had the legendary Darius Miles, the legendary Keisha Cole, Demarius Bowles. We had all of those guys and girls, and we just, you know, used our principles and kicked major butt.
How many games y'all lose? Well, how many games did we lose on that team?
0.
Man, that's like
None.
3-4 years never losing, man.
None.
So when you talk to people and you expect to win, they call you arrogant. Like, nah, that's what I'm used to. That's my expectations. You know what I'm saying? Even playing softball at Kennedy, sure, we ain't lose.
We couldn't.
It was a standard, man. So
like we couldn't lose. Like if we lose, we knew what practice was
exactly.
So we couldn't lose.
All right, so you what elementary school did you go to, man?
I started at A.M. Jackson, and, you know, and it was no sports there. You know, I made the board in the gym, but it was something about, you know, that sports. You know, I started playing football. That was my first love.
Yeah, he got me playing football, man.
Shout out to the Little Knights. You know that.
I was a Sandlot legend till Phil introduced me to that plastic, man. He come home in his little uniform, sitting up lying, talking about play for team. I lying like I'm a... This boy come home with real uniform. I'm like, dang. So, no, man, that, man, I never did. Thank you and Miss Thelma Gilbert for, you know what I'm saying, giving me some of those opportunities. So I want to say it now. Thank y'all from the bottom. Because without those sports, I know what I'd have been doing, but ain't no telling what I'd have been doing. So, I mean, I know for a fact that my life was saved in the early 90s. So, man, gratitude, my brother. All right, so, boom, you at A.M. Jackson. It's no sports.
Right.
6th grade, you transferred to Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, your sports. How did it feel playing for your school?
It was great. I played for, you know, the legend Larry Wise Sr.
Boy, Skate City.
Oh yeah, shout out. And Vince Staten, you know, he worked with my mom at State Community College, but you know, he was one of those intricate men that always set me down and say, you know what, you can do this, you can do that. And you know, when I made that move, you know, we had a good team. You know, this guy to my left was a point guard. I was a 2, and you know, we had Ed White, and you know, we just rolled with it. We worked and we worked and we worked, and we, you know, became great. I mean, we lost some games, we won some games, but we learned how to play. And you know, just from us being from Parkside and going to Kennedy, it was one of those things where it was like, hey, you know what? It's pride right now. And, you know, we just put it on, put that, you know, that blue and gold on and just, you know, played our hearts out. And hopefully, hope that it will catapult to greater things than it did.
All right, so boom, you graduate from the great Kennedy Elementary School. You go to Clark Junior High School. I know your story a little bit. 7th grade. You come home crying, man. What happened in 7th grade, man?
All right, I'm gonna say this. Try it out.
This is a Hall of Fame we talking about, man. 7th grade, talk to.
Long story short, I got cut. I got cut my 7th grade year by another legend in our eyes, the great Pat Smith. And I just it wasn't my time. And I would say this. I come from a single mom, single parent household, and I went to my mom. We was in the car. I was like, "Mom, what? You go talk to this coach, man. What's up? Blah, blah." And she just set me down. When we got home, she said, "You know what? Just look at this as a learning experience, and take this summer to get better." And I can honestly say, all of us, ghetto kids trying to made it or whatever. I could have went right when I went left after that with basketball, but I chose to say I want to get better and I want to play. And this is at the real Clark. I would say that the real Clark. No offense to the other Clark, the current Clark.
What's that? New Clark.
Yeah, the new Clark. But this is three floors, and I just it humbled me, and it made me just want to become great. And I took that summer to say, what, this is not gonna happen to me in 8th grade, and I just worked my butt off and. I made the team that grade year, but I did get released 7th grade year.
Yeah, man. And when he got cut, that's when iLLSports247 was formed. I founded it, and back in the time when Phil got cut, I took him in his backyard, and I worked on this game, man. You know what I mean? I knew he shouldn't be getting cut, so I let the goal up to its highest level, and we went to work, man.
I want to say this. This guy right here. He gave credit to me and my mom, but I can honestly say, toughness at an early age, I got from this guy right here. He instilled, get knocked down, boy, you better get your butt back up and let's go.
That's how I said it too. I ain't Kearse. I was young.
If it was just me and him playing one-on-one, it was like, man, look, we in this together. We right across the street. We family. I fall, you pick me up. You fall, I pick you up. And it was just one of those things where it was like, man, you know what? It's okay to fall. It's okay to get knocked down. Just get back up and be better. Learn from your mistakes. And I can honestly say that this man right here instilled that in me from the jump. That's from 4th, 5th, 6th grade. It was like, all right, you might be cool. You might be all right, but I'm about to go at your butt. Right. And we're going to see, where you at. And at the end of these 1.5 or 2 hour sessions, where you at. And, from football, basketball, shit, even baseball, it was like this guy right here kind of put me in the right positions because I can honestly say without him in my life, growing up on 71st Street in Parkside, I wouldn't be in that 2016 Bradley Hall of Fame class. Or
man, kudos, man. Man, I was so proud of you for getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. I felt like I got inducted in the Hall of Fame. I was like, yeah, that's my boy. I went to Indiana State, which was an opponent of Bradley, so I look forward to those games. Like, what's up, y'all? Hey, man, good luck. Y'all know my boy gonna kill y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying? Hope we win, but he gonna kill y'all. Just know that. You know what I mean? So they used to get amped up for that game, and we had a good team at Indiana State around that time too. Like after I left Mizzou, I went to Indiana State, and just to see him doing what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like, knowing that he got cut in 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? That was big, man. I was celebrating with you, man. So, 8th grade at Clark, how'd that end up going?
Oh, man. You look at going from 7th to 8th grade, you get cut. I look at it and say release. And you come back 8th grade, you excited. You like, man, okay, I'm about to show these people what I'm about. Our season get canceled, 8th grade year. We played.
What was it, a strike or something that year, man?
Nah, budget cuts.
Okay.
We played Exclusively Yours, Lovejoy.
Man, shout out to Pat Smith. He had us with a nice schedule at I feel like I got cut though too, Pat. Man, in the 7th grade. I didn't even play 9th grade when I was in the 8th grade. I was salty. But yeah, all right. So the season get canceled. You didn't have many games. Let's go on and move to the 9th grade year.
9th grade year was a year. I would say I started in 5. Carlos Moore, me, Isaac Johnson, the legendary Tyrone Silas Jr., and everybody know Darius Miles. I look at it as if it was a state championship middle school back then, we would have blew everybody out. But we had some challenges. He talked about Pat and scheduling. We played at East St. Louis Senior High School JV. We played Lincoln JV. Played Mascouda JV. Ran through all those guys.
Cahokia, what?
That's what I'm saying. It was one school that always had our number for some reason, and it was Cahokia. And I just remember playing Cahokia at Clark. I mean, it's probably 500 seats in that old, Clark. Shout out to old Clark again. Gymnasium. It was sold out, and they beat us.
What year was this?
97. This was 97. Jamal Jackson, Darius Smith, who also played with us, from those East St. Louis leagues.
Man, we had a squad, man.
Oh, man.
Put had them legends, boy. She groomed us, dog. She was cold with it.
I got a picture, too, on my phone. I'm sure. But,
shout out to Facebook, man. iLLSports247 page. Put that picture on there, man. Let them know what them living legends started at.
9th grade year, we lose 2 games the whole year out of 30. Both took Cahokia. And it was like, a scratch in your head moment, but you look at it, the makeup of both teams were inner city kids that didn't want to lose. And all of us went on to do something in the sport, whether it was football or basketball. It's just a testament to say, we come from great cloth. And, we just didn't want to lose. And fortunately, we lost. And it was what it was. But, that was 9th grade year. And, that was a groundbreaking year for me, in particular, because it pretty much instilled a lot of confidence in me going on into high school. Because, back then, 7th, 8th, and 9th was considered middle school.
Yeah,
10, 11,
we
12,
called it junior high back then.
Yeah.
And man, like I said, I felt like I got cut that year, man. He named a couple names. Those guys, they couldn't see me, man. I ain't gonna air y'all out like that. Y'all know who y'all are, man. Y'all couldn't see me, man. Y'all was in my spot. But that's where them politics come in with these athletics, man. Pat, I don't know what it was with them cats. No, I should have been there starting 5, but it's cool. I still love you, Pat. Shout out to you. All right, so boom, you go to high school. You go to East St. Louis Senior High. That wasn't the plan. Where was we supposed to go?
We were supposed to go to Lincoln, man.
Whole squad, all us supposed to go to Lincoln. That was the plan. He the first one diverted from the plan. Well, nah, Smitty and Damaris was first to divert from the plan. Then it was Phil. Then Darius, he the only one went to Lincoln. D. Miles, the only one went to Lincoln. All right, so boom, you go to East Side. How did that start off for you? Did you sophomore, JV? What happened?
Sophomore year, I'm going to say this first. Still to this day, Benny Lewis, the legendary Benny Lewis, everybody knows him. I try to speak with him once a month. He's older, but, he still gives me hell about that. This is a quote, man. Why you go over there with them damn fools, man? He's out of football school. You a hooper. You cost me a state, appearance. And it's just like, hey, but, I don't regret it. 10th grade, Dwight Howard, Julian Brown, Marcus Lathan, Greg Armour Sr., those were our coaches. And, I went into it kind of blind. It was like, I didn't know what to expect. Going from Clark to high school, it was like, okay, let me see where I fit in. And, you know, it was an adjustment. And, you know, at first it was, you might play some, but then, you know, it was like my mindset and my work ethic coming from Teresa Cole. You know, shout out to her again. You know, I wanted to prove everybody wrong. And that was my, you know, mindset going into sophomore year. I went from playing 12 minutes to, you know, long story short, the end of the year, I ended up starting. You know, I was strictly a JV varsity guy with the exception of Coach Lathan saying, you know, Alden kicked our ass one game. I want you to play this sophomore game and bust their ass.
Did y'all beat them?
Yeah, we beat them. I had like 42. It was crazy, but you know, it was one of those transitional periods for me because coming from Clark to Eastside from 9th to 10th grade, I was probably 5'6", 5'7". You know, my whole claim to fame was shooting the basketball. And it was like, I knew in my mind just from watching the great Michael Jordan and, you know, guys who I looked up to in the game in the NBA, it was like, man, I had to do more. And, you know, I was always fast. I always could shoot it, but it was like, man, in order for me to get on that court and play significant minutes, I had to do something else. And I had to figure it out. But, you know, that sophomore year was one of those transitional years where it was like, okay, you know, it was a lot of mental sessions I had to myself. Like, okay, if I wanted to play, what I need to do. So it was an adjustment for me. That's first year in high school.
Who was some of the starters on that team your sophomore year?
You had Steve Reed, Nate Holmes, Kendrick Baker, my man, the great Devers Johnson. Shout out.
The Rice.
Josh Harris, Robert Laban. I can go on. Chris Leroy, Darian Rogers. You know, we had some killers. It was
That's
just.
what's up. So Devers was on the show, man, and Devers say he should have got the ball more. He said he should have been the featured ball player on that team, man. How do you feel? Give us a little bit about Devers as a high school player.
Man, I'm going to tell you, Devers, 96, 97, probably one of the most athletic guys I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, that's prior to me going across the country and playing Division I basketball. But I used to sit back and watch this dude. You know, he walked like Jordan. You know, he had a ball head like Jordan. So you knew what his mindset was and what his angle was. But, you know, dude, tough-nosed defender. He wasn't afraid to stick his nose in there and rebound. You know, he was a great leader, in my opinion. I learned a lot from him. You know, it was just like he wanted it. And, you know, we played for a coach who kind of let you do you and highlight what you did best. And, you know, he was also an old school coach. You know, he played those seniors. He played those juniors that could play. So, you know, you had to get in where you fit in. But, you know, Devers was, in my opinion, he's one of the best leaders that I ever was, you know, alongside of.
That's what's up, man. I like Devers, man. We got some kids. They about the same age. They on the same youth basketball team with iLLSports247. And Devers, man, he's an animated storyteller, man. Oh, yeah. I love to hear him talk that noise. Devers, man, we're going to get you back on the show so you can talk this shit, man. But hey, shout out to A-Class Clothing. That's on Devers Johnson line. You can hit them up on social media, get you some of that apparel. All right, so, boom, 1998, you got the East St. Louis merger. How did that affect you as a basketball player, or how did it help you as a basketball player?
First, I went from 5'8" to 6'2", like over the summer.
What a year!
This was all right, and it was like, whoa, okay. And then, you know, I was a little nervous and apprehensive because
dunking yet?
I was, but I didn't know. I didn't I didn't know.
5'6" from
Yeah,
that.
it was
I
like
think you been trying to dunk every
Nah,
day.
but he started dunking before 6'2" though.
I ain't saying that ain't possible.
Nah,
I'm saying
it
you
was-
wrote that much.
Nah, let me tell you, man.
Know.
It was like 5'11", man. You know, I just go in his yard and be hooping.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think I got a goal on about 8 feet or something.
He
got
poked on you?
Nah, hell nah. I ain't never. D-Miles, nobody ever dunked on me ever, and it ain't gonna happen. So, all right. So I'm in his backyard. I let the goal down about 8. I'm out there practicing my craft. You know what I'm saying? And he come home from practice. He was still I think he might have just went to the 10th grade, but he started dunking in the 9th grade, man. Actually, out there like that summer. So he come home. He like, man, let it look. I'm like, shit, all right. He like, watch this. Like, watch what? Boy, would you not do left hand layup? Finally, you know, a finger roll. He started laughing. The boy trots up there. I like, man, let me try. I'm like, ain't no way he dunking, man. He's like, I said, man, where? He like, man, I don't know. I just tried to dunk, and I like, man, he had this dude got ate up by a dog in the neighborhood. like a few weeks prior when he got healed.
After he dunking since then.
Yeah, like after he got healed, I don't know what that dog did to him. He done bit that boy up, and he come back after rehabbing and stuff, and get out the crutches, and he dunking. I'm like, man, I'm finna go get bit by that mud too.
Hey, man, I remember that day like it was yesterday. We was running down the street, and Bear, shout out to the Lions. You know, rest in peace, Solomon, rest in peace, Junior. I took off running. You know, you in the neighborhood, so you know how the gates are, you know, set up with the dogs and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I got some time to get down the street, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'm a little fast, so I can make it. This dog broke the chain, and you know, you hear it. Instead of him going around, he just runs straight through the little opening. I said, oh shit. And my crazy self, I'm trying to jump up on the little fence.
Oh, you couldn't get on the fence.
Got me.
Oh.
Got me.
That's what it was. He said, ain't never again. I'm jumping over the fence.
I come down the street
When
crying.
you like, I'm learning how to jump.
Yeah, every time I let this dude out my sight, something happened to this dude, man.
I come down the street crying. He right there, man, what's wrong with you? I'm like, man, look, he got me. Like, ooh.
I'm like, man, I keep telling y'all need to run while I run.
Man, but yeah, I went from 5'8", 5'10", whatever, to 6'2", and it was like, you know, the merger was happening. I tell this story, a lot of people don't know. I was actually slated to transfer to Lincoln. You know, I had a conversation with my mom, you know, going from sophomore to junior year. We put the paperwork in, and I just remember, you know, I forget her name, but she was like, you know, we are talking about doing the merger. 2 weeks later, the merger happened. And it was like, okay, you know, Lincoln, everybody from Lincoln coming to the east side. You know, we knew everybody just from being in the Leslie Bates neighborhood house and CAC, but it was like, okay, we all in the same building, how this is going, you know, sports-wise, how it's going to, you know, work. And I was nervous, and, you know, but I put that work in. And just from my mentality, I didn't let a lot of people know, but it was just like, man, you know what, I'm going to play. You know, I don't care who coming over, who fighting for this position. You know, I wanted to play, so I'm going to play. And, you know, I was nervous, you know, I say that, but, you know, I put that work in, and just me seeing how Benny Lewis coached and Rick Lewis, and just sitting down with them kind of picking their brains, it was like, okay, you know, I fit into this scheme and this system. And, you know, I wanted it. And it was a little nerve-wracking, but, you know, I had to do what I had to do.
All right, so do you remember that first starting 5 once the schools merged?
Yeah, the first 5, it was crazy. It was Darryl Hawkins, Booney.
Shout out to Booney.
Tyree Brownie. A lot of people don't, you know, they forget about
Tyree
him.
was still playing then?
Tyree was playing. You know,
okay.
He was one of those guys that I really, really, really looked up to. And You know, life.
Tyree was cold,
Man, life took him in a different direction, but you know, I always talked to him, sat down because, you know, just from him running down State Street with the ball, me seeing it, it was like, man, this dude has it defensively, offensively. It was Booney, Tyree, me, Liga Snow, shout out Liga, and D Miles. But for some reason, Tyree chose not to play. And then George Mumford got inserted. So it was Booney, George, me, Lika, and D Miles. And, you know, we were a force to be reckoned with. And, you know, everybody knew their role, and we all had the like mindset of going to state. And, you know, we just tried to do our best to make it happen. You know, unfortunately, we made it, but we didn't win. But, you know, that was that original starting five.
Did y'all place that year or not?
Nah, we
Top 8?
It's the Elite 8. It's Final Four now, but back then the top 8 went, and you had to play a play-in game to go to the Final Four. And we lost to Westchester St. Joseph. Isaiah Thomas, old high school. They had this guy named Brandon Watkins. He ended up going to Penn State.
Went nuts on y'all.
Oh my God, we was
30
up,
piece.
I think he had like 28. We was up by
30 piece.
right. We was up by 12 with 2 minutes left in the game. All right, and I'll never forget one of their big guys. It was a foul. He said, "Oh, time for the dogs to come out." I never forget that. And they just took off. I mean, Brandon Watkins hit 20 points in the fourth quarter by himself. He was a lefty. And, you know, George, that's my cousin. A lot of people don't know George Mumford is my cousin. And he prided himself on the defensive end and not getting tired. And I just remember it was a timeout. B. Lou called, and George was like, "Phil, man, I'm tired." And I just remember I looked at him like, "You what?" And I hit D Miles. I said, "Man, George said he tired." And D Miles had the same look. He said, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" I just knew something was bad was gonna happen. And out of that timeout, they just took off, and then we ended up losing and didn't get a trophy.
Shout out to George Mumford. George was a Division I athlete, man. He started basketball. He was still in track and in football. He went to University of Illinois. That's my boy. Shout out to George. All right, so boom, League 8. They sent y'all home, man. What was your role on that team?
I was just a strictly spot-up shooter on that 11th grade team because I knew that, you know, D Miles was the first option, Booney was the second option, and, you know, if I was fortunate to get it, I just worked my butt off to say, you know, if I got that opportunity to shoot it, I was going to make it. And that was my whole thing. Like, if those guys kicked it out to me, I wasn't going to let them down. And I wasn't going to let the city down. So, you know, I prided myself on just putting myself in positions to knock down those shots. I was athletic, but it was one of those things where I didn't know how athletic I was.
Yeah, it was deceptive. But, man, people knew how high you jump on your dang on jump shot. Like, man, this dude high. Like, everybody else still on the ground basically shooting. He elevating over people, good form. Everybody knew him for shooting that jumper, but he started getting some dunks and stuff around this time, man. I was a little jealous, man. I was happy. But I was a little jealous. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was like, man, how am I not dunking that thing? This boy flying.
I don't know where it came from.
You know where it came from, man. Your dang on uncle played in the national championship with Larry Bird, man. At Indiana State, man. I ain't been back to no championship since, dude. So it's in the DNA. You know what I mean? He just ain't know it was there. All right, so that was a good team. Boom, y'all move on. Senior year. What was the starting five your senior year?
Senior year was Ed White, myself, Leonard Bernie Hughes, Robert LeBon, and Darius Miles. And, you know, our mindset from day one, even at summertime, was we're going to win it all.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, we were so close. We did everything together. I mean, you as a coach, and you know, I don't know if you guys coached as well, but you try to put in that off the court type of mentality with your players. And I can honestly say we did everything together that year. We had our own table in the lunchroom where everybody sat together. Everybody knew in the building.
By that point, D-Miles was dunking from half court.
Oh, yeah, he was the man. He was the number one player in the country at that time. And, you know, just his mentality and him wanting to be the best, because he knew that, you know, we used to have these talks that, you know, if you're the best in your state, you automatically going to win a state championship.
Yeah.
And them was our talks. Them was our talks from being in the mall.
Gotta put the work.
Yeah, you gotta put the work in. It just, we knew that, you know, off the court translated to on the court, and we did everything together. We walked each other to class every day. It was crazy that they allowed it, but you know, it was like it'd be 12 of us going to class, and it go from 11, 10, 9, 8, and are you good? Boom.
That's cool, man. A lot of people, a lot of coaches in general, they don't understand the aspect of camaraderie and how important it is, man. It's very significant on how well your team gonna be. Just going back to our team at Leslie Bates, man. We get dropped off at Leslie Bates. The center ain't open till like 10, 11 o'clock or something. We get dropped about 8 o'clock. We go knock on the doors of the people who stayed in the neighborhood. We wait on D-Miles to get dropped off, and boom, we there all day together now. You know what I'm saying? We going to the store. We putting our money together. Like, hey, man, how much you got, man? I got $2. All right, he got $2. I ain't got nothing. I'm going to have something Friday, though. Mm-hmm. And, man, we going to put our money together, get some snacks, and we going to make it through the day. You know what I mean?
Build that chemistry and that trust factor used, too. When you like that, you know you can trust on your partner.
Yeah.
No matter how good or bad you might think you is, if they so, boy, y'all got that camaraderie like that, it build that trust. Because you know what he can and can't do. So you ain't going to put him in a position he can't handle.
All right, so, all right, y'all got this senior year, man. Y'all had a kid transfer over there senior year. That should you would think that it made y'all a sure end to win the state title, man. What happened with that situation?
Realistically, he was probably the key that we needed, but his way of going about the transfer wasn't legitimate. I would say that. DeMarco Smith.
Marco gonna be on the show, man. He got a slot, so I don't want you to get into his story because I want him to tell his story. Just give something a little briefly.
That's my boy, man. I mean, one of the best point guards I ever played with in my life. I mean, he'd take you to the post. He would get to the basket, get to the free throw line. Like, he was one of those first guys that I just remember on the AAU trip for the St. Louis Eagles, Brad Bill Elite now, that he said, man, Phil, man, you got to start getting to the line more. He said, man, you look at me, I get to the line 12 to 15 times a game. You know, you 16, 17 years old, you don't understand it, but, you know, I just remember sitting down with him in the hotel room in Des Moines, Iowa, and he was like, man, the way you shoot the ball, those automatic points. He said, you shoot 15 free throws, you make 13, that's 13 free throws, you ain't even doing no work. And, you know, it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, you right. And so, you know, I give him credit for that, especially, you know, the older I got, the other levels I played at. But, you know, Marco came in, I don't know what happened, but we ended up having to forfeit 11 games that year.
Y'all actually played them games, though, right?
We played those games.
Y'all won all of them, right?
All games. Every game that he dressed, we had to forfeit.
So Marco was the first East St. Louis recruit then? Is what you saying?
Basically.
That's where it started at?
You're right. He was the first.
So he on the show, I can give him credit for being the first one.
Trendsetter.
I would say this. He wasn't the prototypical recruit where coaches go and da-da-da. It was one of those, this is our boy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to play with us. And, you know, I could say this. The first day of school, we didn't go to school. Matter of fact, the first week of school, we didn't go to school. We went over Leonard Bernie Hughes' house and watched film. from our games, and Marco was right there. So you know, he was our recruit.
You skipped school?
Yeah, man, I skipped.
I can't believe this fool. Oh, innocent Phil skipping school.
Hey, man,
Basketball.
First week of school, we was on 73rd Street watching film of junior year, saying that all right, we can't do this. In order for us to win and get up there, we can't do this. We gotta do something different. So
Shout out to Bernie, man. Bernie was talking a whole bunch of noise a couple weekends ago. I almost went and got my shoes out the trunk. But I let him slide. I let you be great, Bernie. All right, so that was an epic year, man. Y'all had to forfeit those 11 games. Do you remember what y'all overall record ended up being after forfeiting 11?
Oh, man, we was 21 and 18 and 13. Because I just remember you go to state, they got the banquet for, all the teams. You sit at the table, and they pick out a team and they show their record on the big screen.
I'm gonna say it looked disgusting.
Oh man, I'll tell y'all this story. It's funny to this day. I mean, every time I think about it, it just make me laugh. They was like, we was the last team, one because you got the number one player in the country. You want to highlight him last.
Yeah.
Marquee. And it was like East St. Louis Senior High School participant, 18 and 13 or something like that. And I just remember us at the table, we was just like, boo. And everybody was looking like, oh my God, they actually won. And Jeffrey Holmes, shout out to Jeffrey Holmes, caught a cramp at the table, a Charlie horse, and got up. Clark Kellogg was our guest speaker, by the way. I don't know if everybody know who Clark Kellogg is. But he talking, you see just Jeff 6'5", he's like, oh my, I got a cramp, just hopping up all around the tables. And everybody like, you just see Benny Lewis and Rick like this. Oh my God, man. And then I laughed probably for 2 hours straight. And it was just so funny and iconic that they showed our record, we booed, and that happened. It was just like, man, it was just like that whole type of experience was hilarious. So
I bet that's the thing, man. These clowns, man. Look at these dudes.
These ghetto kids. Let's hurry up and get them to that room. We get them out of here. It was just funny, man. I just remember that.
All right, so you and Darius, man, y'all was a hell of a tandem in high school. Y'all made it to state 2 years in a row. I don't think Eastside had really been making no noise in basketball like that to make those type of appearances. Y'all didn't get the job done. How was that experience, though? What happened leading up to that point of not being crowned as state champ? What y'all get, third or fourth?
Third. We got third.
Okay. Well, at least y'all won y'all last game, man. It's only 2 winners at the end of the day. First and third. Everybody else lose.
The team that won it all, Royal West. Shout out. Whatever. But we played them the second game. There's a lot of people don't know this. Galesburg Thanksgiving tournament. We played a Royal West the second game of the year in Galesburg. And they beat us. They beat us in overtime by 3. D Miles fouled out. We was pissed. We was salty because we was like, man, we're not going to lose anybody. We ended up getting a hotel room. We didn't even go to sleep that night because we just stayed up just thinking about the game. Like, man, this can't happen again. So then, we go on to win 25 straight, something like that. And I just remember Coach Julian Brown always coming in probably every Friday at practice. Every Thursday at practice, like, y'all know it's set up. We're going to see him again. We're going to see him again. We're going to see him again. And we just like, whatever. So Super Sectionals, we beat Mount Vernon. The brackets come out. Royal West, East St. Louis. And he said, I told y'all, we're going to see him again.
Set up perfect.
Set up perfect for us to, not for the championship game, but for that semifinal game to go to the championship game. And we lose to them again by 4. But I would say this. Fourth quarter starts. We were up by 6 points. Fourth quarter starts. I just remember a guy that never really played the season, honestly. Because Rick Lewis was big on scouting reports. So, you know, we always looked at stats and time on the court and things like that. Guy take the ball out. We was on this side of the court. We was, 2-3 zone, legendary Benny Lewis. Ed White was on this side. Right. Ed White was on this side. I was on this side. He passed the ball in. Point guard come down. Pass it to the wing. We shift. Pass it back. Then he passed it to the wing. And I turned this way to close out. Elbowed in the mouth. Just blood everywhere. I went out for 4 minutes. I had to get stitches. And for those 4 minutes, they took off. And, I just remember in the back, Bradley University, that's what state tournament was played at this year's back. Well, now it's back at Champaign. But I was sitting on the table with my legs shaking, man, super glue this shit together. I got to get back out there, do what y'all got to do. And I just hear the cheers like, oh, Derek Holyfield for 3. Lewis Smith is crazy. I remember the names. Oh, my God. But I remember they was done. I went back out. The bench is on the right. The table on the left. I went right to the table. Subbed out Peebo, Devin Moss, my guy. Shout out.
Big Dad. We supposed to be the next time. Me and Dad.
You give him a shout out right after you explain how you had to give him off the game.
Man,
Get your ass on
but what was crazy, he understood. Like, yeah, let's go in there and win this shit, man. Let's go. It was too late. Now they're holding the ball. And I think I hit a 3 like soon as I got back in, but now it's time to foul. They white boys, whatever. They fundamentally sound up north. They gonna make their free throws. Beat us by 4. I cried so hard. My mama had to come out the 11,000 seat arena to get me out the locker room to get me to the hotel. And, it is still to this day, 20 years later, but you as an athlete, certain things you don't let go. You move on, but you don't let go from that because we were right there.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, man. I'd like to see you guys win it once you made it there. You had everybody cheering for y'all. All right, so, boom, you go on to Bradley University. You started as a freshman?
Started as a freshman.
4-year starter. What you rank in the record books at Bradley?
I got passed up this year by Darryl Brown, but now I am the 9th all-time leading scorer in school history. I rank 2nd in 3-pointers made.
Who first?
For points?
Nah, you said 3-pointers made.
Oh, first is oh my God, I want to say
before or after you?
After me.
So you were number 1 for how long?
I was 2.
You passed up somebody. Who did you pass up when you was there? Because it was kind of a big deal around here.
I passed up Hershey Hawkins. Hershey Hawkins for 3s. I think Jeremy Crouch might be all-time right now. Or it might be one of the younger guys that's graduated here recently in the last year or 2. But I don't know. I know Hershey Hawkins is 1 all-time lead scorer. Nobody's ever going to beat that.
Records are meant to be broken. Somebody's going to get it.
That man averaged 39 points a game his senior year.
It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while, man.
We got Scream Man pulling it up.
All right, so, boom, you 4-year starter at Bradley. Any tournament appearances?
My freshman year was the closest. Best team I ever played on in my life other than high school at Eastside.
Okay.
We lost in the Missouri Valley Conference championship game in St. Louis to Indiana State.
Sycamores, baby. Know how we do.
Regular season we split. They beat us in Terre Haute and we beat them in Peoria, but they were good, man. Michael Menser, Keelan Block, Marcus Howard, Jabril, Conte, Matt Wren. They were really good, but team-wise, we were better. Our best player's name was Jerome Robinson, Jamaican, Canadian. He's straight. What's up, rude boy? He one of those Jamaicans, defensive player of the year that year. He ended up hurting his shoulder. Had to get cortisone shots the second half of the year, and It was crazy. That time, that game, he couldn't even lift his shoulder, but he played. So we didn't. He averaged 18 a game that year. I averaged 13 as a freshman, and he probably only scored 4 or 6 points, something like that. It just really wasn't enough, and we ended up losing. And we went to the NIT and played against Detroit Mercy. And I'm not even gonna lie, everybody was kind of checked out because my coach at the time was one of the Jim Molinari's assistant coach at the University of Oklahoma right now. Hard nosed, old school defense. Everybody was kind of checked out. And, you know, the younger guys on the team, we really didn't understand, you know, the whole mind. We just wanted to play. But, you know, those older guys were like, man, I'm ready to go home. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we their best player was Rashad Phillips. And, I mean, dude, one step over half court, boom, he's number 3, braids down his middle, his back. He wanted to be Allen Iverson. He probably averaged 26 a game that year.
Killed y'all.
Oh, my God, man. He lit us up.
Why you ain't take the defensive assignment and dim up, man?
Man, hey, Coach Jerome was on. Man, defensive player of the year in the league. He a senior, I'm a freshman. It's like, hey,
man, they need you to put the ball in that hole. That's it.
Yeah,
but all right, so, boom, you go through. You average how much for your career at Bradley?
Man, I honestly don't know.
For 15, 16 points for a career?
No. Maybe a little more. I know freshman year I was 12.5, 13. Sophomore year I was 14. Junior year, you know, I'm gonna say this. Let's stick my chest out for this. Kyle Korver, who plays in the NBA right now, he was second in the league in scoring. You know who was one? I led the Missouri Valley Conference in scoring.
Legend, Phillip Gilbert.
Yeah, man. I just knew you was going to the league after that year, man. Cause Carver, he was a year ahead of you, one.
Yeah,
Carver get to the league. I said, yeah, my boy on this way. It's on. No, man, it ain't happen that way.
Yeah.
All right, so you graduated. You get any invites to the combine, or how did that go?
I worked out for 19 NBA teams senior year. My senior year, I mean, I was preseason player of the year, preseason All-American, all of that, you know, for the area and everything. They projected me every mock draft, 2004, I was a low first-round pick.
Yeah.
Came out, first 10 games of the year, we were 8-2, receiving votes, top 25. I still got articles at my mom's house. I was averaging 27 points a game, 27 through 10 games. Darren Brooks, who's from Jennings High School, played at SIU Carbondale, was second at 14. So everybody knew that, you know, I was going to run away with every award. This is something I hold dear, just the end of this story, because it kind of defined me then. Got a stress fracture in my foot. We played Pepperdine, University of Pepperdine in Malibu, California. And I just remember in walkthrough, my foot was feeling a little funny. And I'm like, you know, I'm still going to play, whatever. So, you know, I played, I think I had 28 and 13 rebounds, something like that. We lost 80-81 on the backdoor dunk. Glenn McGowan. It's crazy I remember these names. But we got back to Peoria. We had practice. I couldn't practice because it was like a sharp pain just shooting up my leg. And I went to coach and I said, man, look, something's wrong. So I went to the training room. Trainer took a tuning fork out the desk, hit it, tell me where I heard that, put it on. I'm just yelling, oh, shoot up. So he's like, man, you might have a stress fracture. So I'm like, man, don't say that. So I came home. You know, we ghetto kids trying to make it. You know, I went to Eastside. Legend Tom Liddell team was practicing. You know, my guy, Dennis Brooks, was the coach. And, you know, he allowed me to get out there and do some things. And it just, sharp pain.
Made it worse.
Yeah, so it didn't make it worse. It was just, you know, how you try to do stuff to see.
He had to let you know,
Yeah.
you heard it for real, fool. Sit down.
I went back to school, got an MRI. my results beat me back to the school. We had practice. Stress fracture out to 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, I was out 6 to 8 weeks. Bawling, crying, call my uncle, call my mom. You know, it was crazy. I missed 11 games my senior year. And we went, without me in the starting lineup, we went 1-10.
Yeah.
And
Man, you was an intricate part of that team, man.
my stock just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, okay, you know, when I came back, I think we went 6-3 or 6-4 with me in the lineup, but I still wasn't 100%. But in my mind, it's like, man, I got to make it to the league. I got to do what I got to do. I got to make blah, blah, blah. So I was pressing the issue. You know, injuries.
Right. So, Phil, you say you preseason All-American?
Preseason All-American.
Man, Doc, he got this thing.
Hey, you know what, man? We all Americans, Phil. So, I'm like,
It's Doc. That's what Doc say.
no, man, somebody told it to me, and I got to make sure you understand that we all Americans, dog. Don't let that preseason all American accolades get to your head.
Oh, nah.
Nah, just messing with you. All right, so out those 19 teams that you worked out for, anybody give you any looks?
I worked out for Miami Heat once, and Eric Spoelstra, who is the head coach now, was the summer league coach at the time, or I forget the terminologies, but Stan Van Gundy, who was the Pelicans, last week they hired him as the head coach. He was the head coach, and Spoelstra was up under him. But, you know, I went to that first workout, and I guess I blew him away. So they invited me to the second. And for everybody that don't know, you know, when you start going that route, you know, that first workout is to see your physical attributes when it comes to the game. That second workout is psychological. So, you know, I flew back down to South Beach. You know, I'm sitting on the couch just like this in front of Pat Riley and doctors and everything. And they're just giving me a mental evaluation, just trying to see where my head is at. And I guess I blew them away again. And they invited me to minicamp. And, you know, how it went, my agency at the time that I signed with out of school, Noah Kroom, Goodwin Sports Management. And if, you know, a lot of people out there that's not familiar with Goodwin Sports, if you go back and look at LeBron James when he came out of high school, and you remember that whole controversy with his mom supposing to sleep with his agent, the agent was Aaron Goodwin. So I was in that circle. I mean, I was seeing him every day. Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Jason Kidd, I was around those guys all the time, just preparing for the draft. And, you know, it was a thing where my agent was like, you know, Miami has 3 picks in this draft, 2004 draft. First pick, he told me they was going to take Darrell Wright out of high school. He said, man, I think they might take you with one of these 2 second-round picks. First pick was Matt Freege from Vanderbilt. And the second pick, I remember, was a 58th pick, or 48, one, I forget, but I remember the name, Albert Morales from Spain. And 5 minutes later, my phone rang. It was my agent saying that they want to invite you to minicamp. So I flew down and everything just like a draft pick, put the hat on, take pictures, everything. Mm-hmm. So, you know, Miami was fortunate to believe in me after the injury. So I went down there and then I had to show my worth.
Yeah. Was you in shape when you got there?
I was in stellar shape, man. I was nervous, but then, you know, the stuff that they had us doing, shout out to my 2 head coaches, Jim Les and Jim Molinari, I was ready for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was crazy. You get guys, I'm not going to say no names, that played that was like, man, it's crazy, man. I'm tired as hell. Oh, bro, I can't believe they got us doing this. We pros. And I'm looking at them like, we're just running a suicide. Like,
it's light work.
Yeah, this nothing. Like, I done did this for 4 years, 27 seconds. So, and another thing, too, nobody on our team knew how to read a screen.
Yeah.
Down screen, pin down, come off. Somebody shoot the gap, you fade. Somebody chase you, you curl. Like, I mastered that.
So where you first picked that up? High school, college?
College. Al Biancalana was my assistant coach at Bradley. I just remember the first week of practice, he pulled me to the side and said, for us to be good as a team, we need you to do this. Mm-hmm. And he showed me videos of Ray Allen and Reggie Miller. And, you know, I used to study those guys and the movements off of screens, how to read a screen. If you coming off a screen, you looking over your shoulder to see if that defender cheating or chasing. I just mastered it. Right. And when I got to Miami, Spoelstra had to have me on the court at all times because couldn't nobody do that. And they used to call me young fella. It was Bob McAdoo, Keith Askins, Bimbo Coles.
Bimbo.
All of them was our assistants. And they used to be on the sideline just, young fella, bust their ass, young fella. They can't guard you, young fella. And it was like, it was confidence to me. But, you know, that was going into Dwayne Wade's second year. And, you know, I just remember after Summer League was over, they pulled me in the office and told me, you know, they always call me young fella, we love how you came into camp in shape. You was one of the first ones here, one of the last ones to leave. You worked your butt off. You did everything we asked you to do, but it's a numbers game.
Right.
And I just remember Pat Riley said, you know, we want to sign 2 veteran guards to help bring along Dwayne Wade's maturity level. And unfortunately, I got caught by that. But, you know, it was tough, but, you know, you move on. I ended up playing overseas for 8 years and, you know.
All right, so, boom, you get done, your playing career over, you get into coaching. What's your, what was your first coaching job?
First coaching job was at Eastside, and I'll give credit to Tony Young, who was, you know, he played at SIU Carbondale from Chicago. He won a state title at Schaumburg. I just remember, you know, he always looked at me as being an OG for some reason because I was 2-3 years older than him at Bradley and SIU. And he was coaching at St. Louis U as a grad assistant. And I just remember he called me and said, man, you know, I'm going to interview for this Eastside job. Mm-hmm. And if I get it, I want you to be, you know, my head assistant. And at the time, I still was playing. You know, I was coming back from New Zealand playing down there. And I just remember I told him, I said, man, Tony, man, I'm not trying to get into that right now. Like, eventually, yeah, but right now I'm still playing. He was like, man, you my first choice. Just think about it, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, fast forward probably 2 months later, negotiations with my agent at the time wasn't going how I wanted. And I said, man, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I went to Germany, played the year, and came back home. And I called him. I said, man, you know what? Let's do this. And, you know, they gave me the job. And, you know, that was Deshaun Munson, who, in my opinion, I say this might be controversial, but Deshaun Munson, in my opinion, is probably, arguably, the greatest all-time East St. Louis Fly of all time.
Oh, you started me a question, man.
Hey, man. Hey, look. You know what? That's funny, man. You should have went live for that because I was just telling somebody, full-fledged argument. I say, they say Booney was better than Munson. Mm-hmm. I said, man, Booney can shoot better than Munson, and that's where it stops. I say Munson is after D Miles, I say I'm gonna put D Miles at the top because he went straight to the league out of high school. I say, but other than Jamal Horton, exactly. I said, we ain't seen nobody do what Munson did, and for him not to have a jumper, man, please.
You still couldn't stop him. And I could say that I was his coach's senior year, and it got to the point where I sat back and I watched his greatness just evolve because it was, you know, I just remember first game at Alden, first conference game, he had a quadruple double. Mm-hmm. And I look at him and Jamal Horton. Jamal Horton is one of those guys. I remember when Vince took us to the Collegeville tournament.
We go to all those Lincoln games, man.
We stood up the whole game. I thought Jamal Harden was Jordan. Just being honest, them two are like neck and neck to me. But watching Munson grow, and his stat line that first game was, I think he had 25 points, 16 rebounds, 11 steals, and 12 assists. And it's just like, man, you can't argue his numbers. Like, it's crazy, man. And he's doing the same thing in college right now.
Yeah. That's a true testament of a legend to me, man.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to still perform. You know what I mean? You got a pit master over here. You're gonna be able to do that forever, man. When you're a legend, that's what you do. Like, you're gonna be remembered for slurping them rib tips up, and I come here, sit on this couch and eat my rib tips. You hear me? You know what I mean? Like I said, iLLSports247, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Please comment. Let me know how we doing. This is Phillip Gilbert on the couch, and we talking about the greatest basketball players and that you've seen with your own eyes, or that you know in East Side history. And who would you say number one is?
Darius Miles for sure one, because what he did for the game is unmeasured. You got a 6'9", you got him playing the 4 or 5, but he's for real a guard. He's a 3.
Yeah.
And he coming down, hitting you with a left to right crossover, right to left crossover, and give you a no look pass, like
with a I got you sucker in the middle of that.
You can't teach that. And
yeah, man, I know that had to be fun. So as a legend and as a coach, a person who sees the game and knows the game, who's the best guard to come through East St. Louis?
Best guard. It's tough, but you got Munson, Deshaun Munson, and Jamal Harden, in my opinion, is top tier.
I'll say that they head and shoulders better than the rest.
Head and shoulders. Vincent Jackson. I say those 3 guards because I saw them. And just me being around VJ from Pro-Ams, the real Anthony Bonalea at the old V, I'll say that. And, just watching VJ sit down for 3 games, and you get a guy that come in and talking noise, and VJ going to the locker room like, man, give me a jersey, man. I'm about to lock this dude up real fast. And seeing it, shut him down to 6 points. And it's like, oh, my God. And then not to mention he won 3 state titles at Lincoln. You know what I mean? You can't argue that.
Yeah.
So I would say those 3 guys, hands down, in my opinion.
All right, because it was an argument, like I was telling you before, man. Some of my friends that I hold dear to me, they was talking like Munson name shouldn't be mentioned with the greats of East Side.
You have to look at his numbers. I mean, basketball is all about numbers. This kid, his senior year alone, he had 7 quadruple doubles in one season and 14 triple doubles.
How many quadruple doubles?
7.
It's ridiculous, man. And he ain't adding turnovers in there. He talking about blocks, rebounds, steals, and assists, man. Crazy ball game.
You would say Munson, Jamal Harden, VJ, Vincent Jackson, Tommy Liddell.
Okay, that's a good class, man. That's a good class. Several Hall of Famers in that class. You know what I mean? Munson, he gonna be a Hall of Famer. He at Harris though right now, so I don't know what year he actually is. It's his senior year. Are they playing?
Yeah, they playing.
We need to see if we can get admittance into one of those games or something, man. We got Kevin Brown and Phil Gill, a couple of Parkside legends in here. Kevin Brown with Granny Boys Barbecue. Before we get off the air, Kevin, let them know where they can find you at, how to reach your phone number, contact information, whatever you got for them.
Once again, we located every Friday and Saturday from 11 until we run out, 16 Range Lane, Cahokia, Illinois, the old Power Change Church parking lot.
And right. Honk that horn when you driving by, you see that smoke going, honk that horn, let them know it's good.
Yes,
I had some of that barbecue and it's off the chain. Get you some of them rib tips, man. That's one of my favorites. Get your little pork steak or something. I had to get it. You know what I mean?
Hey, change the subject real quick. Y'all see that fight last night?
He was, I
Y'all,
heard
come-
about it.
y'all ain't see the fight.
Well, he got knocked out.
Ooh.
Tank got destroyed.
Tank destroyed Cruz.
Oh, all right.
Now the fight was going. Looked like Cruz was going good. 6th round. Hey, out of one good uppercut. I thought he was dead. Y'all ain't seen it?
Nah,
That's
that's
why
why
it's
I watched the
my
fight,
fight,
man.
man.
Screen man, pull it 1 second. Just pull it up real quick. Let me see how his whole body shut down. His legs just doing this on the ground.
So did it look like he was gonna lose that fight?
The way the cards was going, it looked like Cruz was gonna outlast him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watch, look at him.
Ooh.
Ooh, hey,
threw.
he was down for about 3-4 minutes. didn't
Nah,
he?
he just doing a quiet stretch. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Nah, his leg was right behind his body, bro. It's over. Look at,
Yeah, he need to smell something.
Yeah, Javante.
look at his body though. Shut down.
Hey, Javante, one of those greats, man. He dominating his
Look at
class
leg.
right
Who
now.
gonna fix his leg though?
Lord.
Bro,
Dominating
you had to
his
see him
class.
after the fight though. He just smiling like, where am I? Like they put the camera on, he ain't know where he was at.
Hey, man. He knocked his tooth into the front row, man.
Hey,
That's a dangerous sport, man. I had to get that smelling sauce in football, man. I was on them Lulus for sure. Little bitty dude caught me on the kickoff return. He was on kickoff return. I was on kickoff. I'm just flying down the lane, man. I ran through him about 3 times before, so I'm kind of looking past him. And boom, I get there. I'm like, oh shit. And he like, where the table is right now. He hit me. Boom, I get up. I still make the tackle on the play. And so I go to the sideline. I sit down. I like, Coach, get somebody in there for you. He like, shit, what's wrong? You tired? I like, nah.
they don't know where you at.
He like, shit, what's wrong? I'm like, man, I'm on them Lulus. He like, Lulus. I say, woo. I say, that little dude stuck me. He like, who? I'm like, shit, I'm 5. He like, that little bitty dude. I say, man, that dude hit. This cat, he played cornerback at like James Madison somewhere, man, and he's about 5'10", 200. Here I am, man. I'm 6 foot 250. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I done ran through him a couple times. Watch out, tackle. This particular time, man, he was sick of my shit, boy. Bah! While I was over there, I went sat down for like a whole series. Doc, you ready? Hey, just the calm as I want to be though. Hey, just as calm as I want to be. Man, come on. Ready. So I hit the sauce. The trainers, they laughing at me, man. This how serious. Well, it wasn't serious to them, but I know I had a concussion, man, mild concussion, and they sitting up there laughing because I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough guy. Doc, no.
It's different times in football too. That's before the concussion talks too.
Yeah,
They kind of like get your ass back in there. You like,
Yeah, that's old school, man. Just got my bell run. That's what we called it. And sure, when I go back out there, man, I make a play. Like the ball bounce off the goal post, and I fall on it. I'm one of those players. I'd rather not even get the ball. If I don't scoop and score, I don't even want it. Especially in that instance, they gonna be at the 5-yard line or something. I don't even want that, dog. Man, so I'm looking at film the next day, tap my boy like, what the fuck is that? Falling on the ball at the 5. Boy looked at me, he from Miami. Shout out to my boy Tank, Get Fit Jet, man. Follow him on Instagram. He's like, man, you gooking, yo. I say, man, nobody understand that old Florida talk, man. He say, fool, that's you. I say, nah, that ain't me falling on no ball at the 5. Looked at it, I get up. I'm like, man, it's so embarrassing. He's like, Coach, man, this boy still tripping. But yeah, hey, this is iLLSports247. This is Living Legends podcast. Phil Gill, Kevin Brown, they holding us down, man. We about to get ready to get up out of here. Phil, what you got going on, man? You coached at East Side. You was a head coach.
Oh man.
You had 2 years. 1 year you was about 500. Next year you was about 18-8. And then they gave you the boot. What happened?
Oh man, that last year, you know, I had Jeremiah Tillman, who's a senior at Mizzou right now. You know, they looked at him being the next Darius Miles. And even before the season started, you know, the superintendent and everybody was like, man, you know what? Schedule these shootouts. Schedule these big-time shootouts, because we had Tillman, who was top 50 in the nation, and Terrence Hargrove Jr., who's at SLU right now, a sophomore, who was emerging. And so, you know, I scheduled games. We played City of Palms Classic, who's considered probably arguably the best high school tournament in the country. East St. Louis Senior High School 618 was that. We played the Penny Hardaway Classic, Highland Shootout, who's up there, multiple, you know, big name, you know, venues and things like that. You say 18, we were 20-6.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was 18-8. My bad.
And you know, I just remember we played Altoff in the first round of playoffs. We beat them. It was a close game, and you know, all eyes was on me. And I'm just looking like, what is this? The Lakers, the Knicks? Like, you know, I had a 7-footer, but I don't have a legitimate go-to scorer. You know, I don't have a solidified point guard. You know, no slack to the Arthur Carters and the Rihandas Estes who played, and they played their hearts out for me, carry-on chairs. But, you know, we end up losing to Belleville West in the regional championship, who, mind you, won state 2 years in a row after that.
Okay.
And, you know, I get a call, and they say, you know, come to the office, superintendent wants to meet with you.
Mm.
I'm not going to say the superintendent name. Everybody knows who he is. Set me down. You know, how do you feel the season went? I'm like, oh, I feel we overachieved, you know, for what we had. You know, I had a 7-footer, but he can't get the rebound, dribble the length of the court, make threes, make free. He can't do all of that. And it was like, well, you know, long story short, we feel that with the team you had, you should have won the state championship.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in a different direction.
Yeah. I'm saying, we don't credit that you improved by 10 games almost.
Now, my mindset being homegrown, walked these hallways, got dressed in the same locker rooms, same smell, same lockers, same court.
Same won state the next 2 years.
I'm like, you know, my park side come out, but I catch it. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it, but y'all can have this, because if I can't look in the mirror and do it my way, it ain't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's crazy. It got out before I even left the parking lot that they were letting me go. I mean, I got so many calls. People in the city was mad because they like, man, you know what, you blood, sweat, and tears, and this how they do our own.
And they say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here.
And I mean, the whole thing was Tillman's supposed to be the next Darius Miles. And my rebuttal was, you know, no offense to Jeremiah, but that's two totally different players.
Yeah.
And you can't put that on him. You can't put that on me, because it's like, I played with Miles since 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And you saying that Miles is a 3. He's Trace McGrady, boo, and Jeremiah's straight back to the basket. He can step out and make the shot. He can do that. But
old school big.
yeah, like,
I watched some of them Tillman games, man. I ain't know if it was him as a player that was just that way, or I felt like Eastside was kind of like protecting him. Like I didn't think he was playing 100% in a lot of them games. I felt like it's like he knew he was going to college or to the league, so I'm gonna take this shit easy. That's what my opinion when I watched some of them games. It didn't feel like Jordan Goodwin was getting the best of them games.
I'm gonna tell you, Jeremiah, he's a great kid, but you know how you go on interviews, job interviews, and you know you might get a prep for the interview and they ask you what's your weaknesses. And you know, you don't ever want to expose your weakness in the job interview, so you might say, you know, I tend to overanalyze certain things or stuff like that. That's how Jeremiah is. He's I don't want to say a mental case. I don't mean it that way, but he's one of those kids that he wants it so bad.
He's his own worst critic.
Yeah, he doesn't want to disappoint anybody. So he presses the issue. Even if you watch him at Mizzou to this day, you could see, because he can't stay out on the court. He's in foul trouble all the time, and like I talk to the kid all the time.
Trying to live up to legends though. Like D Miles, kind of like
Man,
Yeah, the elephant in the room.
One thing you gotta do is just be him though, man. You just gotta be you,
but,
man.
I mean, if you go to a school and they telling you the next D miles, it's like it's hard to fill some shoes to fill.
I'm saying for real, you kind of want to make your own lane. You don't never want to be that person. You want to be better than that person for real. So your work is not to be like them or fill their shoes. You want to be the best you.
And that's what I used to tell them all the time. Like, man, forget what they say. You do your thing. Shoot a three. This is my team.
Yeah.
As you go, we go. I want you to have confidence because I'm preparing you for that next level. Because at that next level, you a 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, JT, you can make these shots. He's a pro. Don't please, somebody can come get me, whatever. He's a pro.
Oh, yeah.
You can't teach 6'11". He's fast. He got the touch, and he has the heart and the mindset to want to be the best. But you get certain coaches, and you know, Conzo Martin is a great guy. You know, he's a great coach. And I'm not even talking about him. I'm just saying you put Jeremiah in a situation where, because mind you, he started 4 years, well, going on 4 years at Mizzou, so that says something for him right there. But you get certain coaches that kind of limit players.
Yeah. And
not saying that Conzo is because he's letting them go, but at that next level, JT might have that coach that, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, blah, blah, blah. And he's that type of kid. If you let him showcase what he can do, he's going to show you and not put that excess pressure on him. So that was one of my things when I coached him. I'm like, hey, man, you got the green light. As you go, we go. Kill these dudes. Shoot a three. I want you to bring the ball up the court. Showcase your ability.
Yeah. And that's just that's kind of like what I was looking for. I remember the game I went to, they played Alta.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Collegeville shootout?
Yeah, it was in Collegeville. I like, Tillman gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for it. I was just waiting for that explosion. And it really didn't ever come. Mm-hmm. It seemed like, and Jordan played slow getting it going, but it just seemed like the stats, Jordan just kept them up. Like Jordan went from 0 to 100 like that. And Tillman was kind of just timid to the whole game. I just felt like, he wasn't get out, because my not meaning nothing, like I ain't even coached none of that, but when I'm just there watching the game, it just seemed like somebody got to be telling him, don't get hurt. Yeah. It just seemed like he was playing not to get hurt.
I see what you mean,
yeah. I mean, it's rough, man. Some people, man, they just let the game, they just go as the game go. Like, some people don't overexert it or force the issue, and you really need some players to force the issue sometimes. And a kid like Jeremiah, he just gonna sit back. He gonna let his teammates play. And he had a lot of good athletes around him, but he didn't have a lot of good basketball players around him. So you feeding him, but who he kicking it out to? You know what I mean? This wasn't the same Hargrove that we saw at the state championship. This was a young, different Hargrove. You know what I mean? Who I got to get it to Jeremiah. You know what I mean? He had the ability to step in and be a guy like that, but sure, sometimes the maturity level don't be there. So
it's funny you say that, because that was one of the knocks on me as a coach. You need to highlight TJ much more, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, I can highlight him, but at the end of the day, he's still 15 years old, sophomore. So he's going to defer to those seniors because them the guys he looked up to.
Yeah.
But they didn't get that. And I mean, you see me with the who pays me. I mean, I'm on orange and blue to the death, but this who pays me. This is where I'm at. So this is who I'm repping. You see the shoes and everything.
That boy say mad time.
Not to mention we went to state last year too.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, hold on.
Hold up, y'all ain't even get to finish, huh?
You see that?
Y'all want finals? Okay.
Baby, you see that?
Little PJ, all right.
Opportunities, chances. You know?
Yeah, I ain't mad at that, dog. Go ahead and get your name up there, Phillip Gilbert, man. This iLLSports247, Living Legends. We're going to keep them coming, man. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. Comment, talk to us, hit me up, let me know who should be on the couch. We out.
We got the killers over here. Yeah! We got the killers over here. Yeah!